Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, my beautiful empresses. Welcome to Embody Your Empress. I'm Sarah King, the founder of Empress Nation. And once again, we have another fabulous guest joining us today. If we are looking for an intuitive business coach to help us on our business mission, create this beautiful, powerful, successful businesses that we are all soul led to be doing, we have the beautiful Megan Cam come in to share some of her beautiful wisdom and knowledge with us today. Welcome, Megan.
Thank you, Sarah. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, so welcome. I would love to invite you to share who you are as a beautiful human, as a beautiful soul, and the mission that you are on in life and how you came to be doing that.
Excellent. Well, now I'm a mum of two beautiful little kids. So I've got an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. So having kids was really the turning point for me, I guess, in my perspective and who I wanted to show up as and be as an older person in life. I started out growing other people's businesses for them. So the brick and mortar sense. Um, Opening up stores for people, doing all the branding, the marketing, and the visual merchandising, and really building up their business for them. So I did this in Western Australia mostly. So that's where I really kind of launched into that area. And I kind of found myself always getting into bigger and bigger positions within business. And I become kind of like renowned for like opening and setting up stores. So I did that quite a lot in my younger 20s. Um, and then I shifted into where my passion lies into the fashion industry. So I have a textile degree um, in design. So I went into working with an evening wear designer. So really well known in Western Australia, um, doing everything in the business. And it was really interesting. The time that I came into her business, had just lost her brother, who was really the business side of the business. And she was very much the creative soul and just like free flowing, kind of like hippie-ish, kind of that soul 60s kind of baby feel of like just a free flowing energy and creative. And I seen um, a lot of times her getting taken advantage of in like this, in her vision and the way she wanted to run her business. And at the time I was only 25, I didn't really think that I had the power or the authority to be like really speaking up. Like spoke up a little bit, but um, just feeling the energy change so much was really interesting to me, and it's something that really stuck out for me. And unfortunately, she passed away. So it was very much a public event. She was a very high profile person. So there was lots of attention and wrap up and kind of viewing of that. So it was a very big time for me to like kind of revisit of what I wanted to do and kind of where I was going to be. And I kind of defaulted and went back into the launching of businesses for other people. I got invited to go and open up another business for someone that I'd been working for before. So I kind of just defaulted and went back into that um, and started really working more on my intuition and like the soul led purpose and started doing courses and mini sessions and things along those lines to try and kind of, I guess, come back to myself and kind of ground myself after having such a big experience. Um, and it was really kind of a hard time because in the space of 3 days, I think it was, I had a person die every day, like take their own life every day. So it was kind of like a really big shift in energy and kind of being kind of thrown into that kind of situation. Um, so that's where my journey kind of changed and started looking at different options and looking at where I really wanted to be. Um, and then not long after I found out I was pregnant. So that was a big change to like becoming a mum and realizing that I didn't actually want to spend all these hours working on someone else's business. And I really then took everything in perspective of what I was actually doing for other people. I think the naivety of being young, you don't actually realize how much you're growing someone else's business for them, and really not taken advantage of, but they were, I guess, using your energy and your vibrancy and wanting to prove yourself to really amplify them. And that's where, in my time off, a lot of my friends started growing businesses and things like that. And I was started consulting just naturally, just as a friend, um, different ways we could market, different ways we could grow, doing bits of advertising for them, and just naturally kind of started doing that because I love the startup, the creation. I love people growing and in their element, seeing them like really being in their spark and kind of harnessing their energy and like using the tools of marketing to really amplify them and set them up so they can just do what they love. And I I don't know, just naturally fell into that kind of space while I was on maternity leave and had extra time and things like that. So I then did it in the digital sense because I didn't want to be um, dictated by my location or my time, or I wanted to be able to help more people. And I really wanted to be able to help women because I seen in a lot of my friends' businesses and my designer experience that it was a lot of time and men trying to tell a woman how to work and the structure that they should be in, and they should be following this system because that's what works. And it was all very male dominated. Um, and a lot of it was misaligned energy. And I seen people putting it into practice and it just really wasn't working for them. And like the answer from the mentor or the person that was like helping them was always just like to push through it. You should just push past this point and really like just keep hustling and keep going. Um, and that's when I started going back into my intuition work and my mediumship work, um, really kind of understanding the way it presents in our body as well and what signs our body is giving us. Because I think that's kind of like a lost art. People are so taught to stop crying or stop doing this and suppressing all those feelings that we naturally have and kind of shifting that. So talking to different people is kind of like seeing their energy dips and flows, and really being able to understand that a lot more for myself helped me like um being able to help them like seeing different parts of their energy that you could kind of bring back, and different meditation or connection or bits and pieces that they could incorporate that help them, I guess, realign and re-spark the joy that they once had.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Yes to all of that. And love just to touch on what you were just saying, like the masculine saying, just push through it as a business strategy. How how does a mum scale without pushing through it? Because we know the demands on mothers, especially new mothers, and it is a logical choice to begin a new business or to get out of that traditional working structure where you are chained to a location or place for someone else's benefit. So how can a new mum sort of like set up a structure that's going to hold and support her in a business, and how can she scale that?
So I've found if you have a system that supports you, so w- being online, it's a CRM system. So like something that does all your landing funnels and your emails and your text messages, anything where you can automate and set the system up once. And that way you can just like duplicate things out. So for instance, if you were having an opt-in to try and build up a webinar that you're doing or a masterclass, you would create it once, but then you could just duplicate it and just change the names and things like that. So setting up yourself so it saves you time and energy. And I think that's an amazing place where we're at right now with the beauty of technology pairing so seamlessly in our on world life. So we can do a lot of automations, we can do a lot of foundation work that really sets us up. And I found that working one-on-one with people online, that was generally the main thing that they didn't have. So it was all very manual. So they were doing manual emails every time someone wanted to join. They were doing reach out messages every time someone was following them and things like that you could just easily eliminate. Like it's a quick setup and you can kind of just come back to being in the energy of just creating the thing that you, because I believe everyone has their spark, their essence. So whatever business it is, we want you to be leading that business because you are the lead magnet in a sense. People are coming to you because you are amazing and they love your energy and they love your vibe and they just really connect with you. And you don't want to be caught up in all the um, tasks and things like that really take away from that time. So that was kind of a trend that I seen a lot, especially working because I mainly work with mum coaches on in the online space. And that was one thing that they always kind of just shy away from because they didn't think that they were tech savvy or they didn't think that they were able to have something like that could take so much off their plate.
I will put my hand up to that. And I have been trying, Megan, like I've been trying the last few months, and it is tech is still not my comfort zone. So I am going slowly. But the point is so valid. Like that was made to me. Like, why do you keep wasting your time doing all this manual stuff that would take me hours? When if you get it right, and it frees you up to be doing the things that I enjoy doing. Like I enjoy doing podcast recordings. I don't enjoy setting up email funnels. That just that's not my area of expertise.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And it happens so much. So yeah, people shy away from it because they think it's going to be harder than actually just having either someone come in and do it or for them to learn the first setup and then everything kind of flows. Like I remember this one lady, she had his salon business, but she was manually sending out all the confirmation things, all the emails, everything, like all of it was manual. And she was like fully booked every week. And I was like, this must be taking you hours. She's like, yep, I'm being up, like stays there till like 9 o'clock, like sending all this stuff out. And I was like, this could be so much easier.
Oh my gosh. And yet her flair is in the salon, hands on the head, rather than behind typing out the emails. Oh my goodness. Oh, can we take a step back for a minute? For someone who is just maybe had a baby or is not even a baby, just in that transformational bubble. I know pregnancy and motherhood brings it out in us, particularly as women. Like we go through this transformational bubble and we're like, the ideas, the creativity, like the downloads just pour in and we're like, yes, let's change the world. And not just pregnancy. I know we have phases of our feminine that we go through this as well. If we're in the concept stage, what would it be a great tip to give them when everything is so vast without getting overwhelmed? How many steps of the process of setting up a business it can be?
So I would just trust that you've got this download for a reason because like things come to us for a reason. And if you think it's a great idea, just test it. You do not have to have a website. You do not have to have anything fancy to set up. You just need to test it to start off with and see if people actually want what you want to create. So like, for instance, if you were going to start a children's book or like some kind of mother package or something like that, just ask a couple of people. You have people on your connections on your phone, you have them in your Facebook community, you have them everywhere. Literally just go out and be like, I've got this idea, send a voice note or whatever's easiest for you and just test it. Like it doesn't have to be overcomplicated because you don't want to get caught up in that creation of, oh, I've got to have a website, I've got to have a business name, I've got to have all these things set up to launch this idea. But it's the other way around. Like if you just go out there and be like, okay, I want to sell cupcakes. find one person to sell and test cupcakes to. Um, and then just get their feedback and be like, okay, did you like the way it was presented? Did you like the taste? Like, have a little questionnaire. Like, it could be so simple that you literally send them a text message of questions, or you write it on a piece of paper and get them to fill it out. It doesn't have to be complicated. And I would encourage you to make it less complicated for yourself and just start, because although you might start as doing the cupcake decorations, you might end up in wedding cakes at the end. But if you just start that process, your next step will naturally unveil itself. Like, people get so caught up on, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Instead of just starting and let the next step just naturally unfold. Because especially when you're at the start of your business, or you're the start of your online presence as well, like, it doesn't matter if you're showing up a little bit rusty, a little bit messy, because the 20 people that are watching you right now are still going to grow with you, and you're going to bring them along that journey. And when you refine your message and you become that person that you want to be, even if it's not the person that you thought you were going to be at the start, it's normally so much greater than that, because we limit ourselves so much as women. It's normally going to be this greater evolution, and people come along on the journey with you, and they're going to become your raving fans, because they're like, I knew that girl when she was selling me a cupcake. And now look at her making these beautiful wedding cakes.
100%. And that has been the evolution of Empress Nation as well. Like, I'm coming up to my year anniversary of when I went to Melbourne to have a branding shoot done. And I'm like, I had just reached out a few weeks before going, just got this idea. And for me, I needed something solid, something concrete, something tangible to push me forward with this idea that I had just downloaded. And I'm like reaching out to this beautiful Erin May Henry, who I had stalked on YouTube for years, going, hey, I don't know, I'm probably not your typical client, but I see you do branding shoots now. And she was just like, great, let's get into it. So Empress Nation was started as like very niche down into like supporting businesswomen. And then it evolved when I channeled a book, which was about self-love and relationships. So then it evolved, and now we are like really settled in this beautiful um, cocoon of women and their intuition and bringing out their best selves, which Empress Nation has been, Embody Your Empress has been part of this journey the whole way through. And I love that the topics sort of diverse and digress a little bit. No, they expand. Everything
Yeah.
expands. And that even bringing guests in, like we talk about anything and everything on the show, and the core message of it has been empowering women, bringing women back to themselves, opening up our minds to new perspectives. And I just look back at the last 12 months journey of this is where I was, this is where I was, this is where I was, but I had a consistent layer as well, which is really exciting. Um, and I love the flow of evolution. And I'm like, who knows where it will evolve to next? But I'm here for it because I'm just like, oh, talking about intuition, like following the intuitive guide to go, this is what's called for right now. Yeah, you needed that to get to that step. I needed to reach out randomly to Erin to be like, I need some awesome shots. Okay, great. That was my next step to leading on. And beautiful thing about business these days is you can pivot and change and flow and meet the market demands and meet your own needs um, very quickly and easily. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a massive process. Like, it's not a brick and mortar store where you have to like pull all the fit down and redo it all or change like every branding pamphlet that there's 5,000 people that are going to throw it in the rubbish most of the time anyway. So it's a really cool age to be living in. I love, Megan, that you have your feminine and your masculine so beautifully swirling together. Like, intuition and business is just like congruent and it's coming through. Do you have any practices or routines that you do when you sit down to work to help you bring these energies in?
Definitely. So each morning I generally do like a short yoga session in my lounge room. I just find it helps me clear my head. After either I do it before generally before the kids get up, and then just go into like a short meditation to kind of ground myself, um, and just have that practice every morning. I do set up myself in terms of what I want to create through the month and then break it down into the week. So I find if I have it kind of um, pre-strategized and written down, then I'm more likely to complete the task. um, I don't like waking up and then not sure like what I really wanted to achieve out of this. So just pre-planning is my key because I have a very busy schedule outside of working. So I've got the kids' activities, my activities. So I like that pre-planning structure. So I normally sit down on a Sunday and just re-look at what I'm going to do for the week. And then generally probably like lunchtime or like kind of like that mid-afternoon when you're feeling like a little bit lower in energy. I like to go outside and like have a cup of tea or a water or something and sit on the grass in the sun. I just find that, and with no shoes on, I find that connection to the ground and kind of like that energy of like recentering and regrounding yourself, um, just helps me get through that afternoon kind of bit where I feel a little bit slower in the afternoon. Um, that like 1 o'clock kind of time, I find that kind of that energy kind of like re-sparks where I need to be when I'm coming back inside.
That's so beautiful. Grounding is like hot topic at the moment. So
Mm.
many of my guests are being like grounding, 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 and it is so valuable and so easy to do. Um, though I am very fortunate to be able to open my door and walk out straight to grass. And I
Yeah,
know that not everyone lives in um a structure that allows that. But yeah, very fortunate, and it does make a huge difference. I have a beautiful practice where I go barefoot on the grass, but I also hold like a substantial like rock or stone, like that I foraged out of a river. And that I get the grounding benefits coming up from the earth, but I'm also feeling the weight pulling me in, spreading out my roots again. Especially when I'm feeling really like super spiritual, like if I'm having some downloads or if I'm getting like some upgrades and everything's like feeling well, like up here, like very floaty, very woo. And I love to go and do that, like putting my feet on the grass, even at the beach, and then taking my rock. And like someone's like, "What do you mean a rock, Sarah?" I'm like, literally like a rock, not a crystal, because a crystal
oh,
has own frequency and it quite can be quite lofty, but like a rock from the earth, like you feel that earth essence and it is just so really divine and juicy. And when you ground, like you are more open and receptive to channeling more information and creating that vision and moving forward with purpose. Because you can connect higher when you are grounded and you are solid in your roots. So such a beautiful, beautiful gift that we have available to us.
definitely agree. And I actually heard this. One of my intuitive coaches said that if you are not in a space that you can go outside, or if you're like a higher up in an apartment or something like that, ac- have rocks at your feet when you're working to help ground you. So no matter on what level floor you are, you can put them underneath and just kind of put your feet on it while you work.
Beautiful. I love that. And have some like house plants around too, because bringing nature to you can do it. Like set yourself up. Like even I find, I don't want to say artificial, but like if you can put on your like on a screen, screensavers like forest or waterfalls or beach, and sort of like incorporate it in all essences. Have music going in the background, which is nature or storms and beautiful things. Our mind is simple. We can manipulate it in a positive way to make us feel like we are back in that time because our body remembers, like it knows, like, oh, we went to the beach. I know I can invoke that feeling within us by bringing the outside in. So, absolutely, like, don't let apartment buildings or office buildings stop you. Set up your environment for success. Cool.
Yeah, definitely love it.
Yeah, great. How about Megan? Messaging. Like when we create business, often we have so much going on in our minds and we have it all perfect. And I know not terrible. But I know I have done this before where I'm like, why can't people just mind read? Why can't they just say what I'm trying to say? Because I know I can feel it. Sometimes getting the words from the brain, body brain to like out of the mouth and onto the messaging can be a little bit tricky for some of us, especially some of us who like to be a little bit more out the woo. Do you have any advice for that?
I would take note of the language that other people, like your ideal client, is using in your conversations. So a lot of the time, like we might say, oh, you want to remove limiting beliefs for someone that's further down on their spiritual journey. But really, like when people are coming across it, maybe it's fear, maybe it's worry, like having those connections to the way that people are speaking right now. One good tip to actually start a conversation is going into other people's Facebook groups and just adding value and commenting and creating that conversation. So if you were a coach and you were wanting to help you with their mindset, just go and add some comments on different people's pages that are showing up in those kind of groups and see what language that they're responding to you with. Like, what's their feeling stuck? What's their kind of language that they're supporting? And really lean into that when you're going to talk to your audience about it. Um, and choose when you're creating your ideal client, write it down and give her a name. Like if it's a girl, if it's a guy, and be very detailed. So um, when I visualize, um, I've got Susie. Susie's my visualization person that I talk to. Um, and I can see her as a mum with small kids, trying to juggle things. I can see her house. I can see her trying to jump from one thing to another. Like I can feel her energy and I could really um, tap into that um, energy of where she is at right now and what she needs to hear. Because you've got to think about it in the sense of when we're doing our messaging, there's like we're either going to educate someone, we want to connect with someone, we really want to take them on that kind of community led journey. And we really want them to know in an instant what you are about. We want them to be able to connect with you with your energy, but they also need to know what you actually do and how you actually help them. So people aren't really necessarily interested in the long form of like, I'm going to take you on this journey. I'm going to take you down to the water. We're going to go on this boat. We're going to travel down the river and then we're going to arrive in your beautiful yoga retreat. And I'm going to take you through here, here, and here. They don't think about necessarily the journey. They think about the experience when they're at the yoga retreat and that transformation that you're leading them on. People want to be transported and to lean into that sense. And you got to also think about um, your audience in the sense that only 3% of people are ready to buy from you. So 3%
Wow.
are ready to buy. So the other people are either just looking and they're problem aware. They're aware that they have a problem, but they don't necessarily know what they want to do about it. And they don't necessarily know the avenue that they want to go down to help resolve it. And then there's the people that don't actually know what their problem is, but they've got a feeling like it's off. They've got a feeling like um, they're kind of looking for something, but they don't really know what they're looking for. They don't really know what the problem is. And then you've got the other 20 to 40% of people that don't actually know that they have a problem. They're just kind of going through. So that's where you can really pinpoint and point out to them different pain points so they can be identifying themselves in your story. So it's about having that connection journey. The same as when you watch a movie, like we connect with the person on screen because we can see parts of us in them. And that's what you got to do with your messaging. You got to take them on that journey and remember that there's different people in your audience at different points. So instead of just talking to the people that are ready to buy from you, making other people problem aware that this could be something that is a problem for them and how you're going to transport them and how you're going to take them on that transformation.
That's so beautiful. And you describe it so simply, like what could be a massive challenge for some of us. You explained it so simply and so beautifully. And just to bring in the human aspect of speaking to a person. Like when you are creating a message, you are speaking to a person. So just be speaking.
And it's often normally the person that you used to be as well. Like more often than not, we are speaking into a version of ourselves that we have been. And so when we tap back into that energy, we're kind of really looking at what was coming up for me at that point. What was I feeling? What was kind of the language that I was using back then? Because that's kind of when we're speaking to that one person, we kind of get really focused in and it goes in more detail rather than if we're looking like if we're doing a live and we're like, oh my God, so many people are going to see me. This is overwhelming. Instead of just thinking, okay, what does Susie want to hear right now? Like if it was a Saturday and she's just put the kids down, she's got some time. What would she want to hear right now that's going to move her business and make the difference for her right now?
Oh, I love that. Love that. What would make a difference to Susie? I think my ideal client's Lucy. So yeah. I should make a picture of her and stick her on the wall so I actually have someone to talk to when I'm speaking or creating. Like I like to have the visual representation there.
And you can even for that, you can make ChatGPT create you a visual representation of what that person would look like. Just use the speaking feature and just be like, this is my ideal client. This is everything you need to know about it. And just go on like a little tangent and just as the downloads come in, just keep letting it flow, keep talking. And then at the end, be like, okay, now I want you to create visually what this person would look like.
Oh, that's really cool. Did you do that for Susie?
Yeah. That's just like that.
Dang, I love it. I love hearing these little tricks with chat that you can use to make life a little bit easier and create the inspiration. How
And the
make
talk feature is like, it's amazing. So much better than typing for me anyway. Like you can just talk, get in the flow and like the downloads just happen and be like, I'm just going to speak to you right now. It's probably going to go on a tangent, on a rant, but this is my download. This is what I want you to know, and it kind of articulates it, and you store it in there and keep going.
I love it. I love it, especially like spelling has always been a massive issue for me. Probably slightly dyslexic that never got picked up along the way. And being able to speak into what I want to say and having it sort of type a base where I don't have to worry about the spelling mistakes. I can just go back and add my finesse to it. I'm like, you take my words and then you put it into the black and white, which I need. I'm like, this is fantastic. Like, it adds a layer of security for me because I used to get message going, you can't spell, you can't do this. And I think, I used to take it on because I'm like, what kind of an expert am I if I can't even spell like some basic words? Or like I'm doing it on the fly because the kids are doing stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've got this thing I need to get out to the world. It's coming, I'll forget. So I'm like trying to like get it out there and then people criticize it and you're just like, oh, but you missed the message behind it. You missed the energy behind it. And then for me, like that was just part of my process of like learning, leaning into being seen and not really caring that maybe something is spelt wrong, but also having that available option in a technology form is also pretty cool.
Yep. And I had, when I first started, one of the people that I used to work from, she used to always message. She's like, "Oh, you made a spelling error here. You've got this thing." And I was like, "Well, at least you know that I'm showing up authentically me. Like I'm a little bit dyslexic as well. I'm like, I'm showing up as me. I'm in the moment. I'm in the flow, and it's just coming out." I'm like, she's like, "Oh, it sounds beautiful, but you've spelled this word wrong." I'm like, I'm fine with that.
I am not the perfectionist, so I'm like, I'm cool with that. That's not my issue to be working through.
Me too. I was like, I don't have any hang-ups about this.
No, I love it. I love it. Love it. Megan, I have some beautiful Empress questions for you today. I would love to know, how do you body your Empress?
I really focus on me as like a matriarch figure in my family. So I really lean into that. I need to be filled up just as much as I need to be filling up everyone else. Um, so I make sure that I have my intuition classes, which I love to go to, my yoga little sessions that I love to go to. Um, I quite often go on away for my birthday. I do yoga retreats or something like that. I make sure that I really am harnessing that energy. And I'm at the point now where I don't mind if no one understands it. And I'm very firm that I just need to do this and that you can support me or or not. But this is how I'm showing up as me. So I found that was like kind of really hard transition to come to. Um, just obviously different ways that people get brought up and things like that. Um, I found through my healing journey, using my voice now is such a powerful thing. I would never have done that previously before I started all this journey. Like I would speak about other people, but never myself. So I'm very set in my I guess that goddess kind of energy of like I need this to be able to show up better for everyone else. And I feel like after I did it a couple of times with my family, they were like, yeah, I understand. So just keeping that and knowing that I need that. Yeah, that's kind of like that spark of that matriarchal kind of empress that comes through.
I am so proud of you for going, I can do it for other people. I'm doing it for me. Like, that is awesome. And that is what we need more of. And I'm a massive fan of retreats. Like, that is not just a luxury, it's self care for me, but it also benefits everyone else within my vicinity when I've been on a retreat because they're just so transformational, magical. I come back rested, restored, and alive. Like, I feel alive when I come back from a retreat. And for the people out there that haven't been on one, book yourself in, go to one, book one in right now. Like, they shift so much in a short space of time. And the people you meet there, like on my last one, we all went and got um not matching tattoos, but like same symbols, differently created. Like, because when we were doing yoga, swallows keep flying around us every single morning.
Oh,
Then we're
wow.
like, can we get swallow tattoos? And we're like, yeah. And then we did. We all went and like researched our own designs, and we took them to different artists, and now we have this beautiful bond where we all have similar, different matchy, but um, not matchy tattoos to go with that. And
That's
it was
so cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And what does your Empress energy feel like for you?
For me, it feels like it just kind of fills your whole body with warmth, and it's always feels like this, you know, when the sun is rising, the sun is setting, and it's got that real, golden glow about it. That that kind of warmth and that energy and that I just feel like a golden glow kind of like just radiating out of me.
Uh, I love that. I love that. What a beautiful description. And what are your parting words of wisdom for inspiring your nation?
Listen to your intuition, trust it, and just move forward and act on it. The acting on it is so important. Listening and then acting because you never know where it's going to lead you. It might not be the exact place that you thought you were going to go, but it's going to be even better.
Absolutely. I can't agree with that more. Absolutely. I love it. Thank you so much, Megan. If you would love to reach out to Megan, all her details are going to be in the show description. But I would love you to share this episode with any woman who is feeling inspired, feeling creative, feel that bubble of a entrepreneurship twist coming into their life. Like, it's so great to see women taking steps in business and feeling supported by people like yourself. Like, that is what we need. Change in this world. I love it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, welcome. All right. Share this episode, everyone. Subscribe and have a magical day.